It is that time of year, everybody. It's time for Operation Get Less Fatterist. So in this video right here, I'm going to give you all the information that you need to get started with Operation Get Less Fatterist. Remember, I've been doing this for the last several years now, and it leads right into World Carnivore Month, which is in January. Why would we start something all the way in October for something that's going to start in January? Well, the way that I came to this was a few years ago. I started to recognize the average American person, the average American male, I should say, gains around 7 pounds every year around the holidays. And really doesn't shake much of it. Maybe it shakes a pound or two, but you end up with a net positive of an extra 5 pounds every single year. And imagine if you did that for the next 5 years, and imagine if you did that for the next 10 years. We're talking about 50 pounds from the time you're 20 to the time you're 30, right? If you did that every single year for Halloween, Halloween's when it starts, right? Once that Halloween candy gets broken out and you think that you're gonna pass it out to trick-or-treaters and no one comes to your house, because you have no intentions of giving out candy anyway, because you don't turn on any lights or anything and no one knows that you're even home. And then you break open that bag probably too many days early from when Halloween is supposed to start anyway. And then you don't even have any candy when the trick-or-treaters come, and that's probably why you shut your lights down, because you ate it already. But that's usually when the trouble starts, and then it starts to snowball into Thanksgiving. And once it's November, you're like, hey, you know what? It's kind of cold out and I gotta wear a sweatshirt anyway. So no one's gonna really notice if I'm a little fatter than I was before. Maybe you drink a little bit more around the holidays and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna get to it in December. And then it's December and you're like, well, now we got Christmas coming up, so I'm just gonna wait until the new year. Well, then we have New Year's and you're like, well, I'm just gonna wait until I have to go back to work in January. Well, no one works anymore because everyone got fired from their jobs because of this thing that's going on. And so who knows when anyone's going to start their diet. So I want you guys to start your diet today, and I would love for you to become part of Operation Get Less Fatterist. You can check out more information on Operation Get Less Fatterist on our Facebook page, where we have a group, and people talk a lot about the different diets that I've given out. This year is going to be a little different. Normally I do the diet, straight up with you guys when we move into different diets, but because I have a goal this year of I'm trying to diet right through to my birthday, which is December 10th, and I will be 44 years old, and I just want to be in the best shape of my life at 44 years old. Right now I'm in really good shape, and what I did for the last maybe 2 or 3 days is I took a little bit of time off of my diet, and that doesn't mean that that every meal is a cheat meal. All it means is that most of the meals I'm eating right now are just not things I would normally eat. So like the other day I had a sandwich, last night I had some ice cream, I've been eating some protein bars. It's more like a diet out of convenience, and it's just for a few days just to bridge the gap, so that it's almost like taking a vacation. You take a vacation, you get off of work for a few days, and then when you come back to work, you're fired up and excited. Same thing with your training, right? You take a couple days off of training. Maybe you take 4 or 5 days off of training because you went on your honeymoon, or you went on this or you went on that. When you come back to training, you get the opportunity to get back into the gym, and you're more fired up and more excited than ever. So anyway, Operation Get Less Fatterist starts in October, and it goes through November, through December, and through January. And so it's hard to hold on for that long. Most people are gonna hold on for a week or so, where they try something for a week, or where they try something for just a handful of days, really. But to try to do something for months on end is very, very difficult. But January, I'm going to start out backwards. January is going to be World Carnivore Month. In December, I'm going to be doing kind of a bodybuilding style diet. The diets I've given you guys before have been keto, bodybuilding style diets, low carb style diets. We've kind of, the vertical diet. I've given you guys a lot of options in terms of dieting, because I want you to feel what's going to work best for you. So we got kind of 2 options. And option number 1 is we can do what we always done, where we do these different diets. Option number 2 is you can just kind of ride along with me and see how long you can hang in there for. So let's talk about option number 1. Option number 1, you could do the vertical diet for this month. Stand Effording's vertical diet for October. For November, we can start to lower the carbs down a little bit. Maybe switch into a diet that's a little bit more of a lower carb diet, and then in that 3rd month we could switch into like a keto diet, and that 4th month that would be World Carnivore Month. We would switch into that from a keto diet. So starting out with the vertical diet and then kind of switching into each thing successively. But what I'm going to do kind of straight through is a little bit more of a bodybuilding diet. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of continue to pull out fat calories and to probably pull out a little bit of carbohydrate calories. In addition to that, I'm going to be doing some cardiovascular training as well as I get down towards the end, because I'm going to try to get peeled up, try to get as lean as I can. So we'll see how it goes. My buddy Mark Lobliner is also prepping for a bodybuilding show December 15th. My boy Tom is going to be preparing for a bodybuilding show December 5th. And so while I don't have any plans on competing in anything, I just want to be competitive with myself and just get in some really good shape. So I'd like to see kind of how this plays out. So the diet for right now, you guys can also check out my video called My Current Diet, which was recently posted and very successful, has like 20,000 views. Thank you guys for the support. I've been utilizing a lot of protein leveraging. There's types of protein that I eat. I eat whey protein from protein shakes. I eat egg whites. I eat steak. I eat fish. I have things like shrimp, scallops, clams, oysters, stuff like that. Chicken, turkey, all those things are kind of fair game. In addition to that, I might have some vegetables. I'm really not big on vegetables, but I might eat them, anywhere between 1 to 3 times a day. The only reason why I'm not real big on vegetables is I don't feel like I digest them very well. In addition to that, we got some, carbohydrates from fruit, rice, potatoes, things like that. And then how often am I eating those things? It really just kind of depends on the day. Depends on what I did for the day. It really just depends on what the output was. Did I really kind of like earn my carbs? If I lifted weights, there's always going to be some carbohydrates in there I shouldn't say always, but for now they're going to be in there because I'm trying to really get the most out of my lifting and trying to keep my muscle mass and stuff like that. And so you're going to see carbohydrates kind of around the workouts to help keep the muscles full, to help give me a little bit better pump during the workout, and also just to be able to push the performance in the gym a little bit harder than normal. And so that's feeling really good. That's pretty much it. And then fat sources, I got olive oil, butter, whole eggs. I might have, a whole egg or 2 whole eggs in a particular day. I might have just a little bit of butter with, just to butter the pan, to put the egg whites in and things like that, or use a little bit of olive oil with something, because you don't want to have no fat in your diet. But I'm also getting fat from, I also have bison sometimes. I'm getting fat from fish. I'm getting fat from chicken. I'm getting fat from the various forms of meat. Obviously, steak's going to have some fat in it. I don't count macros. I don't count calories. So I know that everybody always wants to ask. When I have tracked it, just to kind of look and see, I have consistently gotten over 400 grams of protein. That's really been the only thing that I really took a look at. But I'm going to be doing this, kind of riding all the way in through December, and it's going to get tweaked every couple weeks to where it's going to get a little harder, a little harder, a little harder. And then at some point, rather than making the diet harder, I'll just probably exercise a little bit more and see if I can maybe do a little bit more cardiovascular training or something like that. So go ahead and join me with Operation Get Less Fatterist. If you want to find out more information, you can go over to the Facebook channel that we started last year. There's still a good amount of people on there. Ask some questions over there. Ask some questions in the comments below right here, and we'll get to them and we'll help get you guys started so you can start your journey. Rather, this year, for this holiday, I know that people view, 2019 and 2020 as being like a wash and being like a crap year, but it doesn't have to be, and that's up to you. You get to decide that. Maybe things have been different for you than they have been for some other people. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe things have been maybe harder than they have been in years past, but who's not up for a challenge, right? Like, we should all be up for a challenge. Let's take this stuff head on. Let's take this stuff on as aggressively as possible. And you don't have control over whether you might not have control over whether you lost your job or not. You might have control over some of the different things that are going on. You don't have control over who's going to get voted as president. You don't have control over a lot of the things that are going on. But could you lose some weight going into the holidays and make this year different than it was last year, and look different in your Christmas picture this year than you did last year? Rather than being maybe disappointed in the way that you looked last year in front of the Christmas tree with the family, maybe this year can be different. Maybe you can be down 5 pounds, 6 pounds, 8 pounds. You get a hold of it in October, and then you start to, really get in tune with the diet, through November. What could you look like by December 25th? I think you can get in pretty damn good shape. So join me in my journey, and let's try to keep those LBs off before they come on for the holidays. Make sure you click the like button. Make sure you pass this on to some other family members that are going to get fat during the holidays. We can't have everybody fattening up. Also, thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. If you want to continue to find out and see all these videos, make sure you subscribe, because I know that for some reason, every once in a while I get thrown in YouTube jail and people become unsubscribed. So make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. Strength is never weakness, weakness is never strength. Catch you all later.